Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this pencil drape bow that sits on the hair so that you have like this effect over the ponytail. I will insert a picture on my mannequin so you can see a little bit better, but this is the idea, and these are in 3-inch ribbon, and I've got a navy version here and a burgundy version. We're going to make a matching burgundy version today. You will also need some transfers for this one. So I have my transfer tape, my vinyls, some it's like a baking shield to just prevent my straighteners from burning the fabric, and then the ribbon. And we have got one long piece, which is 44 centimetres, and then 2 pieces of plain in 16 centimetres, and 2 pieces of pattern in 16 centimetres. Well, the measurements and all the other details will be in the description box for you, so if you ever can't find the details, or you think I've said them wrong, because I occasionally do, then have a look. But what we are going to do first is take those bits out of the way, and this is heat transfer tape. And when I'm doing my vinyl pieces, I use my hair straighteners. These are very old ones that I only use for this kind of sort of task nowadays. And you can choose to do your pencil either way round. But what I do is I brought these from Tracy at Simply Beautiful, because I'm terrible. I have a Cricut Maker Greek cut, but I never ever use it. Terrible. But you want to make sure your shiny place is on the top of your ribbon. And line everything up. And then I have my heat transfer tape. And I have to do the rubber end first because I've tried to layer it and get it in a straight line, but I have no depth perception at all a lot of the time, and I have to do things bit by bit rather than mess up and waste material and fabrics, if that makes sense. So I want it as close to my end as possible, and I want to make sure it's all completely lined up. That was a little bit over. I'd rather have a little bit overlap at the end and have to trim down a little bit than put it over and, like I said, waste part of the vinyl. So always be aware of that when you're doing this. And then on this end, where I do the pencil, to work out where the centre is, I do a little point crease this side. And then I can use that to work out where the tip of the pencil is, and I've trimmed right down so that's where the pencil join is. And then I've got this side, which is like a nice glittery version. And I line that right up against there. I'm just going to put my lighter on there while I get a little bit more tape. And we are going to put the heat tape there. Make sure that that's right up against each other. And then I'm going to get another bit of tape just for this end. There we go. And then I've got my protection. You can use like a piece of baking sheet if you've got something like that instead of this. I'm sure there's a specific name for what this is, but I can never remember. Sorry. But basically I place it over my transfers, use my heat straighteners, go over a couple of times like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then quickly over. Don't want to do it for more than sort of 30 seconds overall. And then we are going to turn it around. And we're going to repeat. Make sure that your transfers are the same side, same way up on both sides. So you don't have one underneath and one on the top, or vice versa. And again, you just want to do, and then like 10 seconds. There we go. And on this one, give it a second to cool down. I'm going to reuse my tape because I don't like wasting it. And then I've got my eraser part of the pencil. There we go. Line that all up nicely. Tape it round again. Pop it over. And if you're doing more than one of these, I tend to put the transfers on first and then do everything else afterwards. So now this side will be cool enough. So peel off the transfer tape. Peel off the transfer protection. Peel off the transfer tape. Very carefully. Peel off the transfer protection. There you go. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Take off the tape. Take off the transfer protection. And then we're going to trim around the razor end. And we are going to trim to the pencil tip. And I give it just a little edge round. And then I'm going to use the clear blue bit of the lighter flame to heat seal all of that. And we're going to repeat this end. And some of the transfer is just a little bit longer than my ribbon. So I am just going to trim that off, and the same on these little pencil tip here. There we go. So now we've got our pencil ready to go. Now we're going to do our 19mm ribbon. And what I'm going to do is heat seal all the ends in the clear blue bit of the flame. And then we're going to start with the plain ribbon. And on one side, we want to do a little pinch right in the centre as a guide. Okay, well, I just got a lighter that actually works. And then what we want to do is this one needs to go in this one. We want it right on the edge of that line. And we're going to take this side and we're going to sandwich everything together. And I've got some of these clips here. Just hold that in place. And I want to do this side because we're doing left and right, so we get the look together. Because if you did both of them the same way, you'd end up with the twisted version of this style. Again, make sure everything's nicely lined up. Little clippy there, little clippy there. So you've got both. And then what we want to do is bring this over to this corner. And at which case, you can take your top clip and bring it here, and take this one and bring it here. So you've got this look. Then we're going to do the same again. Make sure everything's still all nicely lined up, and then turn that down so it's meeting that corner. Clip there, clip here. And then we are going to take our scissors, flip it over so you've got a nice clear guide, and we're going to cut that excess off. And we're going to flip this over, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take those two triangles, and away they go. And again, with your lighter, where we've just cut that ribbon, we are going to go in the clear blue bit of the flame and heat seal. There we go. And then you've got two matching sides. And this is where we take our needle and thread. Move your clip out of the way just a little bit. Make sure all three of your layers are lined up. In for one, and we want to do 8. So we need to do 8 stitches for 4 creases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on, I'm terrible at this sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is your top one there, making sure to try and go through that point. At which point you can take out your bottom clip, and you should get 4 creases like this. And I do tend to take my lighter at this point and just get all those edges again. Pull your thread all the way through, and then I tend to go back. Pull. Back and through. And then do a little stitch off loop. There we go. And then re-knot my thread. And then we're going to repeat on the other side. We want to do the same as that one. We want to do 8 stitches to get 4 creases, because the whole idea is balance. Start at the top of your point, make sure your point's together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. There you go, 4 creases that side. I like to hold my crease in place and do this again, so I go back and back through all my layers. Once and again. and catch where I caught there. And stitch off in the back. And then we can take the clips off both. And we have a left side and a right side. And I leave the second side still attached. And I want to go through the centre of this side. And you can glue them together. I just prefer stitching. I feel it gives it a little bit more security. Make sure you stay in the centre and you're hiding this stitching across. And then I stitch off. In the back. Okay, and then the last thing we've got to do is we need to heat crease our pencil side. And you can decide whether or not you want the pencil this way or that way. Again, entirely your choice. So on this one I think I'm going to have it so the pencil goes that way. In half. Heat crease. And on this one we want to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that we get 3 creases in a minute. Okay, 3 even creases. And we are going to wrap round. Middle, at least twice. Pull that nice and tight. And then sew it off. And then from the centre of there, I'm going to go up through the middle, up through the centre of our bow, like this. And we are going to wrap round again at least twice, maybe the pencil tails out of the way. And get it centred so that both your bows are on top of each other, or your tails and your bows are on top of each other. Like this. And then once you've got that round twice, there we go. Stitch off in the back as we do on most of our styles. And you should have something like this. And we can flip it over, add our alligator clip. This is a 70mm clip. Across the back here. I've got some matching 9mm here. Don't forget to heat seal it. Wrap that round your centre. And now for me, some people would like it with just this bit, with the 9mm. For me, it doesn't balance the bow enough, so I like to add a nice chunky, scrunchy centre. There we go. And to do that, I have got the matching 2-inch version of the ribbon. And we're going to make an S shape against a thumb like this, so that shape, or a Z. And again, in the blue clear bit of the flame, heat it, pinch it together, and then we'll repeat the other end. Z shape, clear blue bit of the flame, pinch it, be careful your fingers though, because like I said, you can burn yourself. I have little to no feelings left in mine from years of crafting, burning myself on the glue gun, on a wood burning tool, and every other hot tool that I essentially own. Wrap this around the centre, and this is what gives you that scrunchy look. And in this case, I have made this a touch long, so I am just going to cut it down, reseal, and glue that round. And there you go. We have got the matching burgundy version of our pencil. And we have got the blue version that goes the opposite way. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.